I wanted to make a follow-up video to the Fleetwood 763BH. I just picked up this machine a couple days ago for the express purpose of having another as parts for if something breaks on that. I don't really know anything about machine repair, but I do like watching YouTube videos and I love figuring stuff out. So I figured, yeah, if anything ever happened with that, I could at least try. But I came into this and it it works. There's only like a couple things that it needs. And so now this has kind of become a pet project. So they are both the same machine, despite, you know, at first glance thinking that they may be different. You know, this one, you know, the body, the molding on the body is a bit more rounded, whereas that is, you know, a bit sharper. But the knobs, you see the zigzag, the reverse, you know, all the dials. On top, you have the buttonholer, the cam, door, you know, everything is in the exact same places. And this one also says Fleetwood. So this one happened to also be badged as a Fleetwood sewing machine. This one came in a portable case, whereas this one is in a whole cabinet. And I was originally planning on just taking it out of the cabinet, but as I've used it, it's actually really fun. I like it. It's really comfortable. It also came with this manual, which is infinitely better than that awful thing I found online. This has super amount of detail. The owner of the machine even wrote down some of this information right here, including the belt that it needs, and they wrote the date of when they received the machine. So we know that this machine is at least, the latest is from 1964. So I thought that was really cool. It has really detailed buttonhole instructions, which the other one did not. It even has a diagram. So I'm gonna run through that with you guys because it's so much more functional. My buttonholes look a lot better now because I have real instructions. But at the back of the book, I'm going to scan this and put a link to a Google Doc so you guys can have access to this, because the other manual had none of this. It has every part of the machine listed in the back, like everything down to the screw. So, and back here, and for somebody like me who doesn't really know much about sewing machines, this is great because I can see which part I'm missing or needs to be replaced and can find the name for it and actually do a Google search. So, which I've already found 2 things that the machine needs. So yeah, I'm gonna scan this so you guys have access to this. This is super helpful. It's falling apart, but I don't care. You know, once it's scanned, then that doesn't even matter. So yeah. To make up for the fail that was the buttonhole demonstration on the other machine, I'm going to go through it on this one since we have the actual instructions that are helpful and not ambiguous. So I'm going to do a zoom out of it and then do a zoom in so you can see everything in real time. Okay, what I want to do first is for my zigzag, I want to bring that over to 2, tighten the tension screw. My stitch guide, it's set at half. I'll just pretend it's at 3. Okay, I'm going to turn it down to half or less. I don't know. I don't ever do buttonholes in real life. So, okay, so we want to make the top portion of the buttonhole, so kind of like the top cap. And to show that, what's nice in this is that it shows you a little diagram. So we want to do the top. To do that, we're going to drop our feed dogs. And this lever here for the zigzag, even though it's set at 2 already, I want to pull it to 4 so it's nice and wide, and it stretches against across the entirety of what will become the buttonhole. So I'm going to bring that over to 4. Feed dogs are down. I'm going to make a few stitches. Okay, and raise the feed dogs. It's at 2. Since I'm not holding it, it reset to 2. And I'm going to make the left side of the buttonhole. Raise it. And drop the feed dogs because I want to do the bottom cap. I'm going to bring this to 4. So again, it's nice and wide. release that, raise the feed dogs, and then pull on the lever up top. I want to pull it hard, so I pull it and it moves the needle, but then if you pull it a little further, you can see your fabric shift backwards, and that engages the reverse function. And there is your buttonhole. Okay, right now I am going to set my zigzag to 2, so I'm pulling down on the lever, bringing it to 2, tightening the screw. I'm going to drop my feed dogs, so you see that, because I want to make the top stitch. I'm going to pull on the zigzag down to 4, so we get a very wide zigzag. I'm just going to make a few stitches. Okay, I'm going to raise the feed dogs and then just make the 2 zigzags. So I release the lever. So now it's back down to 2. Feed dogs up. Raise the needle. We're going to drop our feed dogs again. Bring our needle to 4 in the zigzag to make the bottom cap. Oh, I hate it when I do that. Anyways, you get the idea. Okay, raise the feed dogs, and then now I'm going to pull. So you see this, okay, so if I just pull it, the needle only moves, but if I pull it a little harder, you see it pulls it back. So it goes over the side, and then it goes back. What's neat about these machines too is that if you get the attachment case, which this one did come with this, but it didn't actually come with this. I got this separate, but this would be something that could come in an attachment case. So this is your buttonhole opener. So instead of using a seam ripper or anything, you could just, I'm not going to actually do it because I don't want to scrape the machine, but you see it just nudges right into there. Let's see, let me try not to cut myself. You see, now you have your open buttonhole. Here is the knee pedal. I guess, I don't know if that's what it's actually called, but it's basically, I'll show you a close-up, but it's basically just a foot pedal with this lever attached to it. It's really comfortable to use, and I actually prefer it in the few times I've actually used the machine for sewing. So I'm going to show it in use because I know in the last video somebody had requested seeing use of the pedal in action. So this is kind of tricky because I don't want to bump the camera, but so you can see. What's nice is like there's a lot more finesse you can get with it. So you can just go really light. Here's underneath the sewing machine, so you can see it is just a foot pedal that's been installed into a cabinet, and this has been attached to it. So you just, as you press on this, then it presses on what would be the foot pedal. So it's really comfortable. It doesn't ever slide away because it's installed. And so yeah, I'm gonna keep this cabinet. It's really handy. It's beautiful, and then it's cool because, right here there are spool holders, but I just like putting the little attachment case in with here. But what's missing on this machine is the stop motion screw for the bobbin, for winding the bobbin, you know, so to disengage the needle, that's missing, which is like the only thing that's missing on the machine. Needs a new bobbin tire, so I ordered that. And I did find the screw for this, so that's coming in. The machine, when I got it, like what you can see, like the tension dial, well, when I got it, this was spinning, like the arrow was spinning around and this was spinning around. So I took the whole thing out and took it apart and then was horrified to find how many pieces are actually in here. And it's actually more pieces than a lot of the other tension assemblies that I saw. And so it was pretty difficult to figure out how to put back together because I wanted this to be the arrow to line up with 0 and ideally the arrow to face up. I couldn't. After hours, when I was able to finally get to line up with 0, I was like, I'm just putting it in the machine. Like, it's just gonna be facing this way. Because what's really difficult is that there's, like, you can't use a screw on this. Like, I'm sorry, this isn't a screw. Like, you can't use a screwdriver. You just have to, like, use your finger and try to, like, grip as much as you can to tighten it. And that's part of the reason why this is so loose, I'm sure. But compared to this one, this machine was serviced by an actual repair person and who rebuilt the tension assembly. And I mean, that's like super nice, super tight. That was before I owned this machine. That was from the prior owner. But it's been helpful using this one as a reference to see exactly what's wrong on this one. And then in combination with the manual and all the parts. But yeah, everything is the same as on the other machine. Like everything. Except for just like minor details. But mechanically, yeah, 100% the same. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this and that some of the information was helpful. Again, if you have this machine and are curious on how to use it, feel free to watch my video on that Fleetwood 763BH. Also, these do use the exact same cams as well. So these can also come in a case that looks like this, and these could also be black. So just because you might see something on eBay that, you know, is completely black and it comes in that case, as long as the shapes, you see these very exaggerated shapes, as long as those are the same, then it's the cams for your machine. Again, I'll scan this and put this into a Google Doc for you guys to access because this is way better than the ones that you can find online, like way better. Anyways, yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and feel free if there's more you wanted to see that I missed. Maybe if I feel brave enough to actually get down, like actually taking the machine apart and washing it, maybe I'll record that, but it might be a disaster. So I don't know if I actually want to do that. So, but yeah, thanks for watching.